Let's get to the main event, Gio. Liam Wilson, your boy from down under, against Oscar Valdez. Man, this is a crossroads fight. In my opinion, Oscar Valdez. I think in the last three fights, two losses. He's almost, it's been a minute since he's been in that high mountain. Since that big knockout over Chell. I think a lot of people are starting to write him off a little bit. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, look, obviously the highest point of his career came in 2021. The knockout of Miguel Berchelt, who was 38-1 at the time, looked untouchable at 130. Valdez hurt him early in the fight and then stopped him in the 10th. After that, he struggled against Conceição. Conceição was undefeated, an Olympian medalist for Brazil. Struggled in that one, got a unanimous decision. And then April 30th, 2022, that's when he lost to Shakur in a fight that wasn't close. And then he bounced back a little bit there in the rematch against Adam Lopez. If you guys remember, in the first fight, he got dropped against Adam Lopez. So, he came back and won a fairly one-sided fight, you can say, against Adam. Adam, also friend of the show, shout out to him. And then, of course, the loss, the big one that you speak of, was the one against Navarrete, right? He lost a unanimous decision. One-sided. Navarrete looks strong. He's now at 135. This fight was at 130, and we also got some news about that belt. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But he hasn't fought since then. That fight against Navarrete, and now he's facing Liam Wilson, who, man, gave Navarrete a run for his money and then some. Chris, he dropped Navarrete, hurt him badly. Navarrete resorted to spitting out his mouthpiece, bought himself some time. He survived, ended up stopping Liam Wilson. But hey, don't sleep on Liam, man. I'm gonna show you the poll. I feel like most people are voting for Valdez, but don't sleep on the Aussie, man. Shout out to our guy Kangaroo Boxing if he's, I don't think he's in the chat, but he might be watching the replay. You can't sleep on the Australian Liam Wilson.
Yeah, I think that's the thing he's got for himself. A lot of people don't know him. I before the podcast, I was like, is he from Aussie or Australia? Is he from the UK? So a lot of people don't know him outside of that. That fight with Navarrete. He is a big guy, 5'9.5", very big for this weight class. Like you mentioned, he hurt a guy in Navarrete, a guy that easily defeated Oscar Valdez. So even though Oscar does have the name recognition, he's got the crowd, he's got the titles, in those previous weight classes. This guy is big. This guy can hurt you. If he can hurt the guy that beat you, he can certainly hurt you. So again, you cannot overlook him. We got to fight the right game plan. Navarrete tried to mix it up with the bigger guy, and we saw what happened. So again, it's a much tougher assignment than on paper. But I expect a good fight back and forth from these two guys. And again, in Arizona, in a predominantly Mexican crowd, I feel like that fight is gonna break out.
Yeah, and you see Wilson 2 wins in 2023 after that Navarrete defeat. He fought twice in Australia, so now challenging for the interim world title. Chris, I'm not going to say the name of the organization because I don't support these interim titles, but what I'm reading as of lately is this is for an interim title. However, it can turn into a real title, Chris, depending on what Navarrete does. Navarrete right now 135, so if he decides to stay up there, then the winner of this fight may be elevated to a real champion. So this is a big fight, important fight. As you said, Liam Wilson has the size advantage. I believe he has a power advantage as well. 28 years old, younger than Valdez. There you see it, 13-2, 7 KOs. Man, look, he could have easily put Navarrete away. Navarrete was seriously hurt in that fight. Didn't get it, but man, that would have been a shocker. Valdez, 33 years old. You would think that this is his last big chance at making another run, possibly winning a title and making a couple defenses if he is able to win.
Yeah. I say call it now, Gio. Call this the title. I don't see a guy like Navarrete going back down. Like, let's say Oscar wins. I don't see him being motivated to go and get that fight on with Valdez when he mopped him, in that first fight. And I don't think he wants to smoke with Liam again. I think he learned from that one. I think he knows it's a one and done. Let's move on to other things. So unless Liam falls in, to these other divisions, but I see Navarrete vacating, that belt at 130, and so I think the winner of this fight eventually will get elevated to full status, and I think they know that, and I think a guy like Liam Wilson knows this might be his best shot to win a title, so it's now or never.
It's now or never, and man, let's go to the poll. Let's put the poll up because I'm a little torn in this one, man. I think, as Big Bro said, upset alert. This can easily be an upset. I'll show you here. The YouTube audience doesn't seem to think so. 358 votes, 84% Valdez. No surprise there. You see the highlighted name. That's who I voted for on the poll. Let's go to some comments here and see what the people were saying. Wilson by TKO says Jesus. Shout out to Jesus. I don't see him in the live chat, but shout out to him. Valdez ain't the same since he's been off the sauce. One person says Navarrete went life and death with Wilson. Navarrete beat Valdez easy. Wilson beats Valdez. So we got some mixed comments, but the vote strongly on Valdez's side. 84% out of the nearly 400 votes, Chris. Does that sway your opinion at all? As I said, I showed you my vote there. But I'm still going back and forth, not gonna lie.
Hey, wait, Joe, I didn't see the screen, Joe. Who'd you vote for?
I put Wilson. I put Wilson.
Dang, okay. You know what? I see that 84%, and normally I don't go against the grain. Like we said before, I think we have a very, very knowledgeable boxing fans here. But man, when I see these kinds of these slanted kind of polls or these odds, that makes me want to drop a 20, Gio. So man, I don't want to go against my peoples, but I'm gonna say upset alert, man. I'm gonna say upset alert. I'm gonna say that Liam Wilson knockdown of Navarrete was not a fluke. I want to say that there's a reason why he caught him, and I want to say that the Oscar Valdez team say they're not overlooking, but I know they know it's not an easy fight, but yeah, I'm gonna say Liam Wilson. I'm gonna say Liam Wilson upset. I'm taking that.
Well, look, this is a tough one for me. You guys are gonna literally hear my brain think out loud on this one because, as I said, I casted my vote for Liam Wilson. I think that poll was a couple days ago, but I don't know, man. This fight could go many ways. I think Valdez with the Canelo team, he's a more responsible fighter. He moves his head a little more now. He doesn't get too reckless as before compared to before, and I think that can play to his advantage. I think El Vaquero Navarrete maybe was a little too overconfident in this one. Got caught, kind of woke him up a little bit. Resorted to some veteran tactics there to survive, and then came back and he knew he had to put Wilson away, or else it was going to be a tough fight. Styles make fights, I think. Crazy enough, I think Valdez, if he decides to box, I think that can be very successful for him. And man, I don't want to change my vote, but this is tough, man. He's in his backyard. I can see him getting caught though and hurt. I can see him getting caught and hurt. I'm gonna stick with Valdez, Chris. I'm going to switch it up live on the pod. Yeah, I just think he has everything in his favor. You know, Liam Wilson, I believe last time was his first fight against Vaquero in the U.S. You know, as we said, he had a lot of success. You know, but he ended up getting stopped. They stopped the fight. Um, Man, this is a tough one. I think it goes 12 though. I don't think they put each other away. I'm gonna go Valdez decision, but oh man, not too confident in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not confident in mine either. Of course, like you said, like it's his hometown, home crowd. He may decide to bring out the blueprint against Berchuk once again. Decide to box again. If it's that Valdez, then I'm gonna take it out. But if it's the Valdez, then I think that the crowd is gonna get to him. I think he's in a bit of a crossroads. I think that Shakur fights zapped a lot of confidence out of him. It's not good to take another L. After that against Navarrete, a guy that was, even though he's in stature taller, but he was coming up. So I think the confidence is not as high as it once was, and I think a big guy like Liam Wilson will pick an upset here. So I'm gonna stick to my decision. I might be wrong, but yeah, I'm gonna take Wilson for the upset.
And Wilson, he's coming off, I said, 2 victories. One of his opponents was undefeated, 12-0, and then the other one was 15-2. Now he got decisions in both. But yeah, of course, as you see here, Navarrete down in round 4. That was the big moment. And yeah, man, he showed good chin against Navarrete. Navarrete had to work very, very hard to try to break him down. And at the end, it was a stoppage, Chris. It's not like he got knocked out. You know, it was a stoppage. But you got to give Valdez's chin some credit, too. I mean, he took tremendous shots against Navarrete, but he hung around and he survived. So, yeah, this is a tough fight and a great start to the weekend for boxing. This fight, the whole card, really.
Let me just say, Gio, I wouldn't be surprised if Oscar gets a knockout. I honestly, that would kind of revive his career a little bit because, again, since like we mentioned, since that Chubb moment, it's always about what have you done for me lately, and Oscar has taken 2 L's out of 3. So, hey, this is a big moment for him in front of his home crowd, in front of his people to get back into people's imagination. So it's a good fight, man. Good main event. I expect a good firefight.